Yeah.
Probably nobody here from the public hearing. Yes, can see that.
Okay.
I won't be there.
I'd like to call to order the Village of Bartlett Plan Commission for September 12th, 2019 at 7 p.m. Will Secretary call the roll?
Jim Lemberg.
Yes.
Mark Hopkins.
Here.
Tim Ridenour.
Here.
John Miasso.
Here.
Diane Nagel. Austin Hopkins.
Here.
Jack Allen.
Here.
Jerry Callis.
Here.
And Gunstein.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of the June 13th, 2019 meeting minutes.
I actually have a correction
Okay.
for that. Under the Bartlett tap vote, I recused myself, but somehow I was able to vote yes. Yeah, I'm that
your
good.
vote. Come on.
Yeah,
Zootable.
so while I do support it, can't show that in the minutes, so if we could change that.
Thank you.
Are there any other corrections or additions? Is there a motion to approve?
So move to the amended minutes.
The amended minutes.
Second.
Second, okay.
We have a motion second. Secretary call the roll.
Mark Hopkins.
Yes.
Tim Ridenour.
Abstain.
John Miasso.
Yes.
Diane Nagel is gone. Austin Hopkins.
Yes.
Jack Allen.
Yes.
Okay. Jerry Callis.
Yes.
Dan Gunstein.
Yes.
Jim Lemberg.
I'm voting yes.
Isn't that for quorum?
Are you going next Thursday?
Next item on the agenda is number 19-11, the Moore Brewing Company. Site plan for special use permits to allow a restaurant with alcohol service, outdoor seating, and packaged liquor sales. This is a public hearing. If anyone in the audience is going to have a question or comment, we have a form where the clock is back there. Have that filled out and return it over to the staff, and we'll call your name at the appropriate time. There's a paper back there and pen, I hope. Okay, is the petitioner here this evening? Yes? Yes. You are, okay. Do we have the notifications from the mail? And we do. Okay. Would you like to give us a little background?
Petition before you tonight is case number 1911, Moore Brewing. It is the vacant parcel at the northeast corner of Bartlett Avenue and South Oak Avenue. The petitioner is requesting site plan review to construct an approximately 8,000 square foot building on the subject property. A sit-down restaurant, Moore Brewing, will occupy the entire building. The building includes, along with functional areas like kitchens and bathrooms, a first-floor dining room, a patio on the first floor, a second-floor dining area, and second-floor patio. The restaurant will serve food, alcohol, and locally brewed beers. The petitioner is also requesting 3 special use permits. First one is for a restaurant serving alcohol. The second one is for the outdoor dining areas. And the third is for packaged liquor sales. Periodically, the petitioner is proposing to package their new release beer products and sell those products on-site for off-site consumption. The petitioner operates a successful restaurant in Villa Park with the same business model. Their anticipated hours of operation are 8 o'clock a.m. to midnight every day. The proposed building architecture is a contemporary style that includes a glass overhead door along the Railroad Avenue facade, which will incorporate an indoor-outdoor design. The primary entrance is also proposed on the same Railroad Avenue facade and will be distinguished as the primary entrance. The building's approximately 26 feet in height. The primary building material will be black brick with a secondary material of a wood look composite material utilized. The railings on the mezzanine and the overhead door, the windows, the wall around the patio will all be of complementary materials, design, and color to enhance the building architecture. The patios will be finished with large gray planters to add some green element to the site as well. The petitioner is also requesting a number of variations. The Zoning Board of Appeals held a public hearing last week to review those variations, and they voted unanimously to recommend approval of each of those. So tonight, the petitioners are in the audience and will be more than happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you. Petitioner, could you stand and be sworn in, please? And anyone else that's going to give testimony? You swear the testimony you're about to give is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge? Thank you. Are there any questions from the commissioners at this time for staff?
I have a question.
No?
Being that it's 100% reduction in parking, how is parking going to be handled throughout this, through this entire process? Is it going to be the street parking only? Is Metro allowing parking? How is that going to be handled?
It will be public parking, both on and off street. Included in your packet is the downtown Bartlett parking map. We had a summer intern, graduate student this summer, and his primary focus was developing this map, surveying all the parking in downtown Bartlett, and also the utilization, so that we could understand, knowing that this petition was coming forward, what the parking counts were like. So as you can see from the chart, there's a total of 879 public parking spots in downtown Bartlett. During the day, there's 282 available parking spots for the public to use. In the evening, that number goes up to 591 available parking spots. So those last two columns, that's the number of parking spots that he observed as available.
Okay. What is the building capacity during the summer and versus during the winter, being that it's outdoor seating?
The required number of parking spaces, and that number is based on the ratio of one parking space per every 3 seats, is 132 off-street parking spaces to accommodate.
Do we feel that there's enough parking or throughout the city, or do we think that all of the customers are going to be parking on Oak Avenue?
Staff believes that there is enough parking to accommodate the use, and we've had conversations with petitioners about having their employees use what we refer to as the BP parking lot. So that is, there's 24 spaces in this area, right across the tracks. So they have agreed that they will direct their employees to use that lot to keep the spaces closer to the building open.
What about handicap parking?
We've had some conversation that, with Public Works about striping a handicap parking space on South Oak Avenue. One of those spaces will be striped to accommodate handicap parking.
Just one parking space for handicap?
Yes, but the Metro parking is directly across the street, and they have 3 handicap parking stalls. And then the Banbury, if you could point to the Banbury Fair lot, there's 2 handicap parking spaces in that lot. So that's a total of, 3, 4, 5.
All right, what about during the day? Are they open all day?
Yes, the Banbury Fair spaces are available, and rarely do I see the handicap parking at the Metro station taken up there.
Banbury Fair is approved, the parking?
It's actually village parking
Oh, okay.
lot, so yes, we have.
And then the future lot, is that,
So the future lot is in our the capital budget for next year, and we have done a preliminary site plan on that site, and we have determined that approximately 22 additional spaces could be located directly across from this site. So we have 25 at the, what we call the Banbury Fair lot, 22 future for the Village lot. We have the BP lot where employees could park, and we have and then we have also counted 35 stalls here at the Village Hall as well.
But if they're open all day, Banbury Fair is open, you know, I mean, if they've got a good showing for customers during the day, then Banbury Fair has no place to park.
There seems to be ample parking during the day. If you look at the chart,
I'm looking at the chart, and,
Okay.
you know, people have to walk a distance to get to the place.
yes, so the Banbury Fair lot, based upon our analysis this summer, when we looked at it during the day, the Banbury Fair lot had 17 spaces available during the day of the 25.
Out of how many?
Open,
How many are in Banbury lot?
25.
25.
17 were open during the
Open.
day.
So I'm going to go back to my original comment about the parking. One of the designs of this building actually cuts off all the parking currently to the neighboring business because they're currently parking behind it, correct?
No, that is not correct, no.
It's not going all
If
the
you
way to
could, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, this one shows you right here, the one they say down there.
So, Renee, if you could point to, so the curb cut to the parking that you're referring to is on an adjacent property, which is the Bartlett tap, and that's their curb cut there, and the parking is located there. They do not encroach upon,
Is that all the Bartlett Taps property there?
yes, it is.
It is, okay.
It is.
Has the petitioner reached out to the Bartlett Tap on putting possibly 2 handicap stalls there to accommodate?
Yes, I actually have reached out to him a couple of times throughout the past few weeks. One occasion I got a hold of him. He told me he will get back to me.
Okay,
I just tried to call him earlier this week. I still haven't had a response back from him. But yeah, I have contacted a couple of times regarding to this matter.
okay.
So if you look on the street here, there is a ramp. So the area that we're looking at putting a on-street handicap stall is right here because there's already a ramp right to the site.
Right.
And then there's a gate area to get into the open patio area right here. So it'd be very close.
Will those parking stalls that are on Oak right there be designated strictly for more brewing by signage?
No. So there would be one handicap space. What we did discuss at the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting was having signage during specific times for loading and unloading and deliveries at this location here, and there is ample room for that, and possibly another parking stall. So there's availability for parking, but that's the village's right-of-way, so we would not restrict that just to one particular user.
Okay.
Are there 2 spaces on the curb right there? You're talking about one of them will be a handicap spot, but currently aren't there 2 spaces there?
There could be 3. There's what we're
Could be 3?
anticipating to be a loading area is very long. Yes, there's quite a bit of space in between here. So there's a possibility of 1 handicap stall and then 2 additional spaces or 1 loading area. They'll serve dual purposes depending on the time of the day, and we're working with the petitioner on delivery times so that it's not at peak time, that it would be available for parking, that sort of thing.
Are they allowed to park in the Metro lot, say lot 58? Is that free parking at night, or is that restricted? To the far left.
That's lot 4, it's 58 spaces.
Yes, lot 4.
All of the Metro parking is available after 5 o'clock.
After 5.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, I'm sorry.
I'd like to imagine generally most of their business is going to be 5:30, 6:30 and later. Banbury Fair is going to probably be during the day most of the time.
I think that is a safe
So
assumption.
hopefully we'll be moving cars out for one venue and in for the next.
Correct.
Is there any parking? Maybe I misunderstood it. There's still going to be some spaces behind the building? Is that what we're saying?
Those spaces behind the
Be gone,
building
right?
are on Bartlett Tap's property. So those spaces are for Bartlett Tap only.
But
Okay.
I'm gonna put some signs up.
And I'm assuming Bartlett Tap gets their deliveries through that parking lot in the back there?
I believe so, yes. I think they do,
Because
yes.
they wouldn't get them on
No.
Main, so they would have to.
Well, it does have a little bit of space out back, but almost not though.
Does the petitioner have anything to add to this?
Could you introduce yourself too, Sonny?
Yes, so my name is Sunny Patel. I'm the owner with my brother, co-owner,
And-
both on the Moore Brewing Company.
And your address, you're a Bartlett resident?
Yes, I live in 126 Bennington Lane in Bartlett, right across the street from LG Sweeping Company. And this is our dream, to bring something back to home. So just want to let you know, in Villa Park, when we open the facility, we have only 10 parking that belongs to us. We go through about 3,500 customers a week, every week, ever since we opened,
3,500?
3,500. So we don't have any trouble there with the parking, so we shouldn't be having here at all.
I just have a couple questions. First question is, do you plan on having video gaming?
That's not our cup of tea, and we don't believe in it.
Okay,
After that, whatever the future brings us.
sure,
No.
sure. And then also, do you plan on having live entertainment, like live music or anything?
We are thinking about it. We used to have it at the Villa Park. We kind of moved away from it a little bit because of the copyright issues and all that. We are trying to bring it back to all the locations that we are trying to open.
I don't know if that's something, because you have to have a special use permit for that?
Or it's just a license from the copyrights of music and stuff.
Well, for the Village of Bartlett. So I don't know if that's something you plan on doing as you open. If it is, you might want to try to get a permit, the special use
Sure,
permit.
we'll follow through all the rules and regulation on that. If we
Just,
do.
yeah, make sure you follow up with
Yeah.
planning department for that.
You building a business for yourself?
I also want to say, I really like the design of the building. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's what the downtown needs, something that's different and sticks out. I like that. As far as like the outdoor seating, like on that second level, is that closed off in the winter, or is there heaters? How does that work?
Probably have to close down. I mean, yeah, because we don't want somebody to either sleep or fall or whatever, not,
Okay.
So, and that's why we have a second floor, this half blocked off with a nice view of the glass and everything, so
Okay,
they can sit inside, still enjoy it.
cool. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I have couple questions for staff, if that's okay. Number one is, all the rooftop mechanical equipment fully screened?
Yes, it is. Let me get you the elevation drawing. You can see
Well,
there
yes, it's fine.
that they've,
I-
sorry.
And then, with regard to loading and it really would have been helpful for you to have a proposed striping plan on Oak Avenue for the review, and I suggest you do so for the village board. And then we talked about loading, but then we have trash in the same position, right? Right on the side of the building. And how that works with the striping, and then if you're going to have to coordinate, no parking on this time frame, and, and since this is, a public accommodation for these guys, especially, above and beyond that, I think it would have been good, especially to soothe the concerns about the handicap parking, but we can't really review it well without that plan. So that's just me whining. It's a great project. You mentioned the staff report, how this thing comports in certain ways with the proposed form-based code, but not the remainder of the form-based code. If you were to review this in its entirety for window openings and all the other criteria and the materials, da-da-da-da, that are part and parcel of that, how would this have scored?
It's in compliance with the form-based code. We had discussions with them because originally what they were showing us was the primary building material was a plank similar to hardy board. And so we talked to them about that. We showed them the proposed form-based code and that was not in compliance. And that's why they have now chosen to go with brick.
With regard to the setbacks and the massing and the percentage of glass in the facade and all that, all those criteria,
Correct.
you're saying?
It does,
Good.
with the exception of what we called out in I think they would still need a smaller parking variation. They would need a variation for that, and I believe the rear building setback.
I think that's really good news.
So the
Then-
form-based code, if it was in effect today, would have required 20 parking stalls for this use.
So we still would have needed a
Yes.
variation, and this
Yes,
would not
but it
have
would have
been an
been much,
automatic
much
staff
smaller.
review then.
Right.
Okay. And then, what is wood-like stuff?
I'm going to let your architect explain that to you.
What is,
My name's Casey Kluckstall with Harris Architects. The wood-like product was a term we used early on to give the description of a product. A product like longboard siding, which is a synthetic product that has the look of wood, but not the maintenance, and it has a longer durability. The product we're proposing is Restesa, which is a similar product.
So it's a smooth metal panel product?
No,
with
it's a resin product that has
So that's not,
scarifying on it,
longboard is the
and it's
metal?
stained.
Okay. So is it got texture? Does it look
got
like it's got a
It's got
grain?
a little bit of a wood grain texture to it and some variation. If you zoom, I don't know if you can zoom in on the wood product. It's on the elevation, but it does have some natural variations in the product that closely mimics the look of like an Ipe siding, but without the yearly maintenance and the staining and the washing and the cleaning.
So is it a permanent finish, or does it have to be restained or painted or something every 10 years? What is it?
I'm not sure the cycle of the maintenance, but I think depending on the desire to have it restained, because it may have a weathering effect where it'll gray a little bit. So you may have to, but you don't have to.
Okay, so it's going to look kind of like Ipe, you said?
It has a very similar look to Ipe.
So it'd be washed out gray, is that it?
No, it has kind of like a walnut, orangish red type hue to it.
Okay. And it's a black brick.
Dark gray or charcoal black. We haven't specified an exact brick yet, but along those lines.
All right, thank you.
Question for staff.
Anyone else have any further questions?
I have a quick question for staff. When you guys looked at this, what's the distance between the neighboring property and this property? Because it's hard for me to tell here, and I just wanted to see if his outdoors, what is it? Between the property, or is it up to his building? He still have his outdoor seating, correct? Okay. And the wall that's being built in front of the building next door, how far does that protrude out past the neighboring building? I mean, it seems like it's going past there based off of the,
Buildings are in line.
solid wall,
the reason I'm asking is because
I don't know if you can see, but the site plan is overlaid on an aerial. So
The only reason I'm asking is when you
Is
had
that the
that
fence right
elevation
there?
plan up,
So,
Right there.
okay,
Looks like the
so this is the wall,
sidewalk.
and then his fence, I want to say, I
That's
think
the building, right? There's-
this is the outdoor seating area
Right,
here.
between the two.
And there's a
So
fence.
Their patio, the building stops, yeah, here. And I believe Bartlett Tap's building line is here.
right, I understand that. But
Okay.
if you had that elevation up again, facing east, when you're coming down Bartlett Road, all you're seeing is that wall. It protrudes out far enough that it actually blocks the neighboring building. And I'm just asking if anybody thinks that's a concern.
This one.
Yeah,
So you're saying here.
right there.
This
It seems
wall.
like they could have maybe dropped it down a little bit and reeled it back, just to give it a little bit more visibility for the neighboring property. That's my only
Stairs
concern.
go up there.
Agree with you.
It is a historical building, so that's why I live in Bartlett and I drive this route every day. And to have a wall, which I think the building itself is beautiful, I'm just looking at the wall that's built there, wondering if it can be modified or reeled back a little bit. We already have a staircase out on the main drive or stairway. I'm just wondering if that stairway and that landing can be reeled back a little bit to accommodate the neighboring building being a little bit more visible. I'm a firm believer that your success is always gonna help their success and vice versa. So,
Protects everybody on this side. Scaling this back.
We'd have to ask if it functions as that.
Egress component to that stair, so it is certainly necessary. To the extent to which we can pull it back and modify it, I think we can, without losing the integrity of the design and the layout, I'm certainly positive we can provide an adjustment to make that work. I don't know exactly what the distance would be that would require what you're,
if you'd be able to move the staircase in the total width of the current staircase, so it is closer to the second floor landing versus having a turn and a landing, and then reel that wall back slightly. You don't even have to, in my opinion, I would say you can leave the bottom portion of the wall.
okay?
Just L-shape it so you don't cut off full
Notch the
visibility to the
upper
neighboring
portion?
property.
Okay. Yeah, so it's, I mean, just visually, we're in the ballpark of 3 to 4 feet, maybe?
Yeah, just enough to give it a good visible presence for both properties. You don't have any signage on the back side of that wall?
No.
Correct? So it's only serving as a barrier, correct?
Correct.
And I think that, in my opinion, 3 to 4 feet would make a huge difference. You'd still block the side of their building, but you'd also open it up just for visibility.
Sure. Okay.
And for that, I mean, that would be something that I would like to see added into that
So propose that that's a condition or approval?
condition. Other than that, I don't have any more questions.
Go ahead, what's your,
Does anybody else have any concerns or questions?
not unless does that function as a fire barrier or anything of that nature? Well,
So we had a conversation with the development team, and I proposed that question if it would be required, because there is some language in the code for exterior egress stairs that adjacent to some lot lines require, in some interpretations, a fire barrier. So as part of the design, it was included, but not 100% sure that it would be required.
but does it function as one or not?
No.
All right, then cut it back.
Aside from that, I just want to tell you, I personally think this is a very nice design, and it's what our downtown Bartlett has been looking for, so I don't think your signage is out of line. I think your signage is very low-key and to what the village, should expect.
Anyone else at this time? Okay, at this time then, I'll open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public The audience that has a question or comment? Yes, could you come up here, please, and state your name and address?
Big crowd.
Hopefully meet my new neighbors. So, my name's Bruce Suffern, resident at 316 Oak Brook Court. Along with my wife and partner Sandy, we own Banbury Fair, operating in downtown Bartlett. Just celebrated our 36th year in beautiful downtown Bartlett. So be encouraged that businesses can succeed in downtown Bartlett. When I first heard about this, I can't tell you the level of excitement that I had to realize that someone, a local person in particular, wanted to invest in our downtown. The scale of it and the parking demands that it's going to require are obvious. And I can tell you no one, I won't say no one, I shouldn't say no one. Very, very, very few people have ever used the Metro lots to patronize Banbury Fair. So yeah, the Metro lots are there, and on Friday nights and Saturdays and peak times, they'll hopefully have to be used. But most of the parking is going to be as close as I can park my car. That's the reality of it. Is that going to cause Banbury Fair to lose business as a result of more brewing customers parking in the village's parking lot? That's called the Banbury Fair parking lot. You know, possibly. This past year, we had the police department build the big building there and all the construction there. Lots of parking challenges there. Displaced parking and lots of parking. We were able to have a dialogue with the police department and the village, and we were able to amiably work out ways to make sure Banbury Fair had its 8 or 9 spaces to facilitate our parking. And I'm very confident that dealing with the village and these gentlemen, that we'll be able to do that again. One little request I would have is that during construction, if that additional lot that you're proposing to have be made available for the construction equipment, because when the police department was being constructed, there was, as you all know, lots of construction people parking on Oak Street. It was a mess. So if that new lot could be roughed in somehow in advance of the construction, and the contractors, what have you, could be encouraged to park there, that would be an ask that I would have. Other than that, you know, I really look forward to having you as a business neighbor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience? No one else? I'll close this portion of the public hearing. Commissioners have any further questions for the petitioner or staff?
No, I'm just going to make a comment. Roberta knows this is coming. I don't agree with your building at all. I mean, downtown Bartlett is all old buildings. And this is very modern. And I really don't believe it belongs there. It's only my opinion. I mean, I've lived here for many years, and I've seen Bartlett grow too fast. But I really don't agree with it at all. I know there's parking all over the place, but, you know, when you're going to be busy, people aren't going to be walking, you know, a block or so, or maybe they will, depending on what you're serving and how good you are. but I found out that no matter what you do here in Bartlett, you don't get the people to back you. There's been places opened, stays open for a few years and then closed because people do not back up. They want everything, but they won't do anything to help it. So it's just a fair warning to you, and I've seen it too many times. It's a fair warning to you that you think it's going to work, the downtown, it's going to work fine. It may, right at the beginning, but it could taper off. I hope not. I really do. But it could, just think of that. It could happen to you too.
Anyone else have a question or comment?
I hope it goes the other way. I hope this is something that we are doing that, even though with all of the variations, I hope it's enough to give us a kickstart to hopefully develop even more things downtown. I hope it's something that causes other businesses to feed off of it. I think it'll help Bruce. I think people that come to this will say, hey, there's a place across the street. Let's go check it out. That's what I hope for.
I'm with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be good. I think your demographics, the people that are coming there, the millennials and stuff, they're going to walk. They go to downtown Naperville, they go to St. Charles, they got to park, they got to pay for parking, and they got to walk. And they Uber, you know? Yeah.
So just so you guys know, when we opened the Villa Park location, that was just dream project. We're like, you know what, let's do something for Villa Park. We have two other businesses in this town. The area that we have the current location right now is pretty much dead. And we found this old Ace Hardware building, and we put our dream to it. We put our everything we had to it, that building. And right now, we go through about 3,600 customers a week. And it's been going on for over 2 years now. So we'd like to assure you that, we'll make sure we do everything in our hand to bring good success to the Bartlett. Thank you.
I do have a quick question, if I may. What kind of food do you guys serve at the facility?
So it's an upscale bar food, you could say, but most of the time what we're trying to do is pair our food with the beers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's never the same menu. Our menu is no 2-3-page menu. We only have a simple 1-page menu, and we try to keep with it. We try to use most ingredients, non-frozen. It's made every day, prepped every day, so we try to keep it fresh as possible.
Thank you.
Don't get me wrong. I wish you the best. I really do.
Thank you, and I really appreciate.
I hope it works for you.
I really appreciate what you just said. So
Like
we'll
I
keep
said,
it always in back of our mind.
I've been here for over 40 years, and I've seen it. I've seen people want this, we give it to them, and then all of a sudden they're gone.
And
Because
we live in this
people don't
town
back
for
it up,
over 8
so-
years, and
I-
you have nothing like this in this town, nowhere 10-mile radius, and we want to bring this and make it happen. And I really appreciate what you say. Thank you.
I think I shared the same, originally I shared the same concern as Commissioner Callis, that the building doesn't fit the norm in Bartlett, but maybe it's time for a change, and the norm needs to be this. And so I think this design fits the future of downtown Bartlett.
Thank you.
As far as the parking goes, would it help if there were a couple of signs that stated you can park in the Metro lot after whatever, 5 or 6 o'clock, so people are aware of it? I think people are generally afraid to park there because they think they can't. No.
We do have signs up now.
Okay.
We put those out, and we are going to work with our social media to try to get the word out. The more owners are going to get the word out to their customers. We've talked about all of that, what we can do to promote the Metro parking. So yes, we are well aware of And we're working on some possible, we've contacted Metro to get some time changes. So, yes,
Hopefully in the end, this business will be good for Banbury Fair and every other business downtown. I think it makes a good advertisement for us.
One last question. If approved, when do you plan on starting construction and completion date?
As far as construction, if we get plans approved, we'll be for permit within a month probably. So we'll turn it on, so springtime, we'll be finished.
Nice.
Of course. Of course.
Might skip winter.
Any further questions or comments? No? I'll be looking for a motion to approve the petitioner's request for a site plan and special use permit for restaurant with alcohol service, outdoor seating, and packaged liquor sales, and following conditions and findings of fact.
Had the one condition that he had with the wall.
Change in the wall.
And change in the wall.
Wall, yeah.
So
Moved.
Second.
Jim?
Tim, that, and I second.
Any further discussion? Secretary, call the roll.
Tim Ridenhour?
Yes.
John Miasso?
Yes.
Austin Hopkins?
Yes.
Jack Allen?
Yes.
Jerry Callis?
Yes.
Dan Gunstein?
Yes.
Mark Hopkins?
Yes.
Okay, good luck.
Wish you luck.
Good luck.
Next item on our agenda is going to be
Executive session.
If they didn't, I wasn't going to vote for it.
Do we need a motion to go into executive session?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Do we need a motion to go? I'll make a motion to adjourn to an executive session.
Second.
who seconds?
Second.
Okay, John second. John Miasso.
Call the roll.
Okay, I'm going to turn off the recording just for a second. Do we need to vote on that? Yeah, we do. We need to vote.
Holding back.
John Miasso?
Yeah.
Austin Hopkins?
Yes.
Jack Allen?
Yes.
Jerry Callis?
Yes.
Dan Gunstein?
Yes.
Mark Hopkins?
Yes.
Tim Ridenhour?
Yes.
Yes.
Guess we're all going to go down.
You call to order the Plan Commission. Secretary, call the roll.
Not prepared.
Working on her escape
Look at the dais so you can tell who's here.
She's routing it on her little piece of paper.
I'm sorry, everybody else. Okay, Austin Hopkins.
Here.
Jack Allen. Jerry Callis.
Here.
Dan Gunstein.
Here.
Mark Hopkins.
Here.
Tim Ridenhour. John Miasso. Jim Lemberg.
Here. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the old business and new business. You have anything?
I know, Jim, you already are aware of this, but at the last board meeting, the Plan Commission member number got reduced from 11 to 9, and it's just an ease of the staff obtaining a quorum for a meeting, so instead of 6, it's now 5, which makes it a lot easier. But now this commission is a 9-member commission. Just wanted to let you know that. You have 9 members now, and we are full, which is great. So,
I just want to thank President Wallace for reappointing me to the Plan Commission. So I guess I'll be here for another 4 years.
okay.
Do we know which ones were appointed for 4 years or 2 years?
All the ones that were expired is what I've understood for, and what is your term? Is it 4 years on this board?
4 years.
Yeah, I think that's what, everybody that was expired was reappointed for 4 years.
At the last meeting, they appointed everyone for a 4-year term.
Yes, they did.
So that 7 people are going to be up the next 4 years.
Yes, they will. Yes.
Okay.
We'll see how that works. And just a side note, I believe we're going to have a meeting. We do have a meeting. We're going to have some items next month, correct? You're only going to have 120 lives?
That won't be until November.
Okay.
I don't think Plan Commission.
We might not have a plan commission in October, but we will in November, and I will let you know that one of the items is a possible restaurant in downtown, another one coming.
All right.
So what we've always said is, I agree with what you've said about this could be an attraction that will help all of the other restaurants or uses in downtown, because that's what they have done in Villa Park. And having been there and talked to the owners, the establishments that they are directly adjacent to, when they are crowded and there is a line, they flock to the other nearby businesses. The other businesses love having them there. It has helped them tremendously. So to keep that in mind. So if Moore is busy, O'Hare's might be busy, and the new restaurant might be busy. JC's would be busy. So we hope that is what is the catalyst to get that started.
Brings the traffic back.
Yes.
Downtown.
Yes.
Yeah, just got to fix those lights downtown and we're set.
Say the same thing. Yes.
Do we have an update on the streets of Bartlett?
They're plugging along. Every time I go out there, they've got some new facade materials up. It looks good. And the next thing I hear, he wants to get the parking lot done and the new lights put in.
I heard they're going to change the family part of the project to a restaurant.
So on the units facing Devon, there is Armanetti's, there's a restaurant, and then there's an ice cream store called Cherry on Top. That's what's going to be facing the Devon Avenue side. The rest of it, the large empty unit, he does not have a user for yet. He's still working on that.
So just that one strip with all the new windows?
Uh-huh.
Three
Uh-huh.
separate? I thought that was just going to be Armanetti's.
No, just Armanetti's is on the end, and then the middle is the restaurant, and it's a smaller restaurant, and then the ice cream store.
The family indoor entertainment facility, he nixed his project.
He's had second thoughts on that. There was, when you have those jumping kids activities, sometimes there's some liability and insurance issues, and he kind of got a little nervous about that. So he's rethinking about what type of use he might want to put in there. He's working pretty fast on it. The signs are up, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Has he had any interest on the vacant lot?
We heard just today that a grocer that was looking at it has said no. So we're still trying. Still trying.
Anyone else have anything? Oh, that's okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who was the second?
Thank you. John?
Are there candidates? Do we have any candidates?
We do.
I don't know. I don't follow.